You're welcome to my channel, my class. And in this video tutorial, I'm going to take you through how to move your um how to create a repository on your in your GitHub account and clone it in your local directory, so you can now be updating files whenever you do so. So the first thing you'd have to do is to go to your GitHub account. And so once you go to your GitHub account, it is going to take you to your dashboard. I have already signed in, so definitely it wouldn't ask me to input my login credentials again. So when you click on when it sends you to your dashboard, what you see here is on the top left, you'll see brings you to this page where it asks you to enter the repository name. So to enter the repository name, I would put there December 7. So it checks and it says that the December 7 name I want to create for my repository is available. So in this small box, what you see there, you can briefly describe what the main repository is about, and then you can choose to leave your account as public or as private, meaning it will not be accessible by anyone. But I will leave mine as public so that anyone can access my files. I may choose to add a README file or do so later when I'm done creating that uh, repository. Now on this page, you can leave everything here you see as a default and just click on create repository. Once it is created, you come down to this URL and then you copy the URL. The next thing for you to do is to go and open the git bash, which is the command line for you to be writing your commands and be making copies and be pushing files to from the online repository to the local repository, which is on your desktop. So once you open the git bash, which is the command line, you need to write few commands before you can clone the repository you have in your GitHub account onto the local directory. First, change directory to the document, because the cloned document or cloned files I want to get onto my local PC or the local directory, I want it to be created in the directory called document. So you have to type cd document to indicate where you want to create the clone version of the repository you have in the GitHub account. What it means is anytime I write the command in this terminal to clone the the repository I have in my GitHub account, I would have to come and trace it in the document directory before I can locate it. So I assume that you have the URL you copied. I assume it's still on your clipboard. Type clone, git clone, then we paste our directory. Sorry, the URL I asked you to copy. I asked you to copy the URL from here. You can highlight to copy it, or you can just click on this side to copy it. Now, don't use the control plus V shortcut to paste, of which wouldn't work actually. So you need to right click there and then you paste the URL. You see certain funny things here, so we need to delete this one and come and delete, sorry, and then come and delete this part. So we only maintain the original URL that we have. Then we hit enter, cloning into December 7. Now you should remember that the repository I created in my GitHub account is December 7. And once we copy using this URL and we are creating a clone. A clone means you are creating a copy onto our desktop. It would create that copy with the same name, December 7, just like the one I have in the online directory. Now it is created. It is created to verify if this online repository we have in our GitHub account, this December 7 is created. You may want to go to the local Dixie on your PC. So you come to the local Dixie, and depending on where yours is, I will find mine at users. And I don't know what you have, but I will choose owner. Remember, I said I want to create it in my document as the main directory to keep the online cloned version of the repository. So I'll choose documents to check. So you see it is here, and you can clearly see it is empty. With what we just did, you can also come to the git bash section and then type ls-l to preview the folders or the directories that are contained in the directory called document. So when you type ls-l, this is what you are getting. Just like you use the normal mode, like you go and open the document or the local Dixie to preview that the new repository you created is successful. You can also come to the git bash and then input ls-l. So if once you pass that command, you should expect that the new one we just created is what we are seeing there. We need to now change this directory to the cloned one, because this is what we now want to do. We now want to change and maintain and make sure that we are working on the local repository called December 7. So we cd and go to December 7. We go to December 7. In this local directory, which we just cloned. Okay, good. Let's check if it contains any files or subdirectory. So we type ls-l, you hit enter. So let's try and create a simple file. So to create a simple file, you can type touch. That is the command for this is a command you have to use if you want to create any file. So I want to create a file called trial, and the file should be an ms okay .scv document. Oh, sorry, I want to create a file called trial.scv. So I'm done. I hit enter to create that file. So let's check if the file is indeed contained in it. Yes, that's it. This is a file that we just created. To push a file from the git bash and have it display here in our GitHub account. And I showed you a simple way to create the file here. You can also create maybe an MS document file by making it trial.do. You can also create an MS document by making it trial.docx. It will create a Word document for you. Yes, as a file. So we want to push this file we just created into the repository we have in our GitHub account. Type git add, then the name of the file. Here you should make sure you are typing the exact name of the file you want to push into the GitHub account. So I hit the enter key and the command is executed. To check if indeed the system is tracking the file, you can check git status. You type git status and it tells you that then the file we want to push into the GitHub account called trial.scv is being tracked. We type git add and we verify to check if the command we pass indeed the terminal is tracking that file. And once it is showing green, it is telling us that the file is being tracked, and we only have to add the comment and then now push it into the online repository. So the first is to create the file. We git add the exact name of the file. Then the next thing is to do git commit -m. The comment must be placed in quotes. So I just want to put anything there. So I want to say added an empty Excel file. Close it. Then you hit enter. Then the last thing is to do is to type git push. We type git push. Then you hit the enter. So the feedback we are getting here is that it is done. To verify if indeed the file is showing in our GitHub account. So you come and then refresh the browser to see if the file will display in our GitHub account. So that's it. We have our file in the account. Assuming I want to add a second file, right? I would like to add a second file. Maybe I want to add a second file. So let's see. I want to create a new Word document file. So trial3 underscore, okay, trial3, but I want that file to be a Word document file, so I'll make it .docx. So this is the file I've created. Once I now have this file, I'll do git add. Then the name of the file is trial3.docx. I hit enter to add it. Type git status to check. So once it is giving you a green indication, it tells you that the file is being tracked and it's ready to be pushed into the GitHub account. The next thing is to give a brief description of this file, which you have to pass the command git commit -m. So the exact description of the file, I'll type, I want to say added a new Word file today. Then I close the quotes. I hit enter. Last step is to type git push to now move the file from the local directory to the repository, which is the GitHub account. It is sent once you see 100% done. Come to your browser and the exact repository where you had wanted to push the new file you just created. Once you are on this page, you just have to come and refresh your browser to see if the file is pushed into your account. Perfect. So this is the new Word file I actually created. The next thing I'm going to do to complete this is that once you have cloned the repository into the local repository, that is your desktop, you may update every information here. Okay, you may have added certain key tests or certain items to the files or any of the items you have in this new directory. Let's say I would like to add a readme file, and then in this readme file it will contain maybe the project goal or a brief description of the problem and the exact or certain features or certain attributes we may have to work on in the model you have to develop and all that. So I can click on add a readme file, and then it is asking you to enter file content here. Okay, it's asking you to enter the file content. So here, let's say you can decide to open any empty document. Okay, you may decide to open any empty document and then paste some text. So I want to cut or copy this one, go back to the readme file content, and then maybe paste this text here. So this is a readme file. Okay, readme file I want to create in the GitHub account, specifically inside this December 7 repository. And once I'm done, I click on commit changes. It is optional though that add extended description. So let me just say something like project description. You can use the same thing I've typed or any other form of description you want to use, or you can even leave that aspect blank altogether. We leave it because I'm committing it directly to the main branch. So we click on commit changes and it saves. After I have cloned this, I created these two and then I used the git bash to push them into the GitHub account. Okay, this directory is updated, but the content might not reflect what I have on my desktop or what I have on my local PC. I'll come to my git bash, then type git git pull origin main. If I had here as master, then I would have done git pull origin master. But I don't have to use the git pull origin master because here is not master, here is main. So I will use git pull origin main and then click on the enter. You hit on the enter and wait for the feedback to tell you that the files are updated. It's telling me that I had a connection problem, so I need to do it again. So let me pass the command in git pull origin main. If you don't have a strong internet, you may also encounter a similar situation where it will tell you that unable to access this server or this URL, meaning you need to check the internet connection or something. So it is telling us it is done. We have pulled the updated version of the files and content we have in this GitHub account to the local directory. So you see it is now showing in the directory we created as December 7. Okay, so this is how you create any directory in your GitHub account. So the first thing you need to do is to come to the home button. Once you see new, you click on the new, and then you can now create a new repository, and then you enter the name of the new repository you want to create. You need to make sure that the name you assign to the new repository, that name does not occur. So once the name, a similar file is created with the same name, the system is going to prompt you that the name already exists and you can't use that name. And once you are done, you can click on create. And once it is created, you copy the URL, given you earlier, and you come to your git bash. Once you are done, you copy it and then come to your git bash. On your git bash, you pass the command git clone, then you paste the URL. You have learned how to create any repository you want with a name in your GitHub account, and then clone it. If you are cloning it, that is, you are creating a copy of that repository onto the local disk, so that you can work on it maybe on offline, can work on it offline or something. And once you clone it, I've shown you how to create a file. So assuming you clone it and that the repository you cloned onto the local disk is empty, I've shown you how to create a new file where you proceed with touch, then the name of the file with the extension you want to create. You git add the name of the file, to check the status. You put on, or you pass the command git status, and it tells you whether the file is being tracked or otherwise. The next thing is to do git commit. Once you git commit, meaning you are adding a comment, any description to the file you added. So what is the file about? That is git commit hyphen followed by the comment or the description of the file, and that description must be put in a quote. The last thing is to do git push. You do git push to now finally move the file from the local repository to the GitHub account you just created. Then the last thing I did was to teach you how to now update. So once you can move from the local repository to the GitHub account, when you update anything in your GitHub account, when you update any of the content, this is an Excel file, this is a Word document, and this is a Markdown document. If you update anything here, and if I should create or add anything, if I should update it, I need to ensure that whatever contents in the GitHub account is reflecting, or a copy is reflected on the repository we have locally. And so once you do that, what you need to do is to come and do git pull origin name. So if you remember, I said if when you change the directory to the one you needed or the one you just created, if you see here as master, then in the git pull origin you add master and not main. So that is the instruction. Please, thank you for watching, and click and pass any comments you want, and then I would make sure I make more updated videos on whatever I've said. If you want me to make a specific video on some of these things as well, you can let me know. Now this is a part 1 of it. Watch out for the part 2. In my next video, I'm going to teach you how to move a whole directory, that is a whole folder, or with its sub files, and then back to the online directory.